guys, this is your warning. We do post up spoilers. At times we're relatively offensive. We use vulgar language. So if you think that any of those are gonna offend you in any way, shape, or form, take your step back right now. Because, buddy, this is not the place for you. Anywho, have fun listening to us. And, yeah, this has been your final warning.
Welcome to another episode of Cinematic Anarchy, where the movies we watch are sometimes bad, and the commentary can be that much worse. With me today, we have Omar.
Yes, sir.
Kind of paying attention. All right. We have Miss B.
Hello.
And we have Spooky, who is no longer a special guest. We're adding her to our
Hello.
guest, not guest rotation, but just the main crew.
The main crew, yeah.
And today we're going to be discussing a wonderful film from the 1980s starring Mathew Brodrick and Jennifer Jason Leigh, War Games. However, we're going to go ahead and flip the podcast around a little bit, and we're going to do a pitch storm before we even get into that.
Yeah!
So I decided to go against the questions today, and we're gonna try to work something out, and I got a couple of good premises here. Do you guys have anything you'd like to say before we dive right in?
Bullshit and words and things and shit.
That was
she said.
That was probably
You need
the
at least
worst.
one of those.
It was the worst segue to a conversation that I could have thought of to make. Just say something, please. Anything.
Speak amongst yourselves.
I've done that before. I left the room and let you guys talk. The entirety of Miss B's last podcast.
Well, Judy kind of like took over that one.
Yeah. It was fine. I didn't really have anything to say at that time, so I just walked out.
Oh yeah, no, the constant fucking like interactions is always good. Like the dead space was non-existent.
That's good.
That was pretty nice.
We definitely need to keep that up this time around.
Right?
Yes.
We should.
Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. All right, so we got two decent premises here. We'll start with the first one. What was that?
Not over here.
I don't know. I heard crinkling. I'm going to ignore it and move on. Okay. An amateur heavy metal band struggling to find a gig wins big at a casino and becomes a target of the mafia. And the note here is the villain's backstory needs some work. Can we blame it on science? Yes. Nothing. That'll create some dead space right there. The little bit of thinking that you have to do. And I think before...
Yeah, I mean, can you blame it?
Well, no, I think what we should do the next time, before we start up the podcast...
So they went into gamble? They went into the casino to gamble, just after a gig or whatever.
Okay, I'll get back to my thought later. You want to just jump right into it?
Okay, hang on.
Oh,
So
not
does it have to
in
be
it.
like a rock band?
It's a heavy metal band.
Okay, baby metal.
Baby metal?
Yes, baby metal. I want Baby Metal to play a show at a casino in Vegas, and they get into this like whole fucking spiel with the fucking mafia. Oh my god, yes!
Wait, what if it was Poppy?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I feel like that would be epic.
That would.
You would be.
Oh my god, I want to see Poppy like go on a fucking murder spree.
Yes.
It's like,
And just have like that doll-like innocence while doing it, like, hi, I'm Poppy. Flash.
Yes!
I'm just picturing like Poppy versus like De Niro and Pacino kind of thing.
Oh my god.
I feel like it would be like perfect contrast.
Can we do like a battle of the bands, fucking Poppy versus Baby Metal?
Yes,
Versus the Mafia?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I'm loving
fantastic.
this.
Oh my god.
And you can just kind of have some mafioso mainstays. People that have played in mafia movies like Pesci. You can have Ray Liotta. I love Ray Liotta. That guy is intense.
Yeah.
They don't get to use him enough.
Yep.
He's
Joaquin Phoenix.
To me, I think the best mafia guy will be Joe Pesci of all time.
Joe Pesci, of course. Of course.
We need Joaquin Phoenix.
With the temper tantrums and everything.
I think we
Joaquin Phoenix. What about Ewan McGregor? I feel like he can do that role pretty well. Yes.
Oh my god, yes.
I want to dust off the late 80s, early 90s B movie star bin and get out Richard Greco, and Antonio Sabato Jr.
Oh, damn.
You've been interacting with me too much. Gecko.
Gecko.
You don't get much.
It's Greco,
much
not
90s
Gecko.
B movie. You don't get much more 90s B movie than that.
Right? But they've played mafioso people like Richard... no, it wasn't Richard Greco. It was Antonio Sabato Jr. was actually one of my favorite... It's a B-movie film, but it's got a big cast. It had him, Bokeem Woodbine, and Mark Wahlberg. It was called The Big Hit. It's actually a really good movie. I think Christina Applegate was in it, and Lou Diamond Phillips as well. But big cast, it ended up being a flop, though. I'm going to pull that movie for one of our podcasts, because it's actually well worth watching. It's funny as fucking hell.
What's the name of it again?
The Big Hit.
It sounds familiar.
Bokeem Woodbine spends the entire movie with one of those little hand exercisers. Basically, and he has no shame about the fact that he is basically making his masturbation hand strong.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious.
The entire movie.
Oh no.
Like I said, it's a funny fucking movie. You've got to watch it.
He's basically building himself a new girlfriend.
He is his own girlfriend. The entire movie. He doesn't need one. It's just himself, and, well, him. You can't do the me, myself, and I if you reverse it like that. It doesn't work that well. So, anyway.
Okay.
Imagine him with that brand new super strong hand. Hello, new chick.
What I was going to say before we dive into this is really before we do the pitch storm the next time, I'm just going to mention the premise before we start, so there's less dead air.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's dive back into this. Battle of the Bands versus the Mafia.
Okay.
Why?
So. Why?
No, I mean, why? Okay,
Well,
well,
a witness to something.
I'm feeling like you could get a Quentin Tarantino to kind of direct this film.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like Robert Rodriguez for this one better. And make it super gory, like the violence.
Fuck it, they've worked together before. Why not just let them work together again?
Oh my god,
Those
throw
works.
fucking Guillermo del Toro in there for fuck's sake.
Oh my god. Okay, this is becoming like an idea for a movie I actually fucking want to see. Heavy Metal versus the Mafia, directed by Quentin Tarantino, and what was the other guy? Robert Rodriguez?
Yes, El Mariachi. What else did he do? He did, was it Planet Dread? No, Terror Planet. Planet Terror. Planet Terror?
Planet Terror.
Fuck, my brain is just
Planet
gone
Terror.
right now. My allergies are acting up. Go ahead.
What was the part of the thing with the, like, something about science? It had to include some sort of science thing with the
So
villain?
somehow you have to blame the villain's motive on science.
Okay, who's the villain in this case? The metal band or the Mafia?
Okay, so let's make Poppy the ultimate villain.
Yes. Yes.
Okay? And she wants to, like, destroy the world with some kind of, like, biochemical warfare.
Yes.
Okay.
The instruments are the tools of the biochemical warfare.
Yeah.
I feel like... I know you're saying biochemical warfare, but I feel more like mind control. Mind control through music.
That would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense.
With mind control weapons?
That makes more sense than... Yeah.
Definitely.
We could actually split the difference. Mind control through music, and the few that cannot be controlled, they use biochemical warfare to take out.
Okay.
Yes. That.
Right.
Yes.
And that's how they approach the Mafia when they try... I mean, it's a casino, so obviously Mafia run.
Yeah.
That's a cliche, but you could use it in this premise.
Okay, so let's have, like, the Yakuza run this.
Oh, well, we have to get a whole new cast now. We went Italian Mafia, now you're going Yakuza?
It makes more sense.
Maybe the Italian
so
mafia has to enlist the Yakuza.
Is the casino like a venue then? Like, does the casino include a venue? All right, okay, we got that aspect of it.
Okay, so the casino is the venue for the Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
Which is going to be televised worldwide.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the biggest fucking musical event of the year, of the century.
And we got
Fucking.
all right.
Everyone's fucking like metalheads now. You know, pop and fucking country and all that shit. They don't exist anymore.
Yes, it is all
Metal.
And so we have these
It's basically like we're living in the metalocalypse.
Yes.
Metalocalypse.
I got one guy that I'd like to be the...
Did I say that wrong? I don't remember. The cartoon.
Yeah, no, it's Metalocalypse.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I said it right.
I got one guy that I want to be the turncoat. The guy that's supposed to be a good guy but ends up being a bad guy by the end of the film. Just because I don't like him and I want people to shit all over him.
Jared Leto.
No. Stallone.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
There you go.
Yes.
Sylvester Stallone ends up being the bad guy that's working to help them basically take over the world.
Okay.
But he is part of he's basically plotting against the mafia while also still kind of working for them.
Yeah, that works.
Also, because you don't get...
Oh my god, can we throw Danny Trejo in there somewhere?
Right.
Oh, yes, please.
Right? I feel like...
He's just like chilling in the background throughout the movie.
I think like he should be like a neutral guy.
That works.
Like he's not on either side. Just if anybody fucks with him, he takes him out.
Yeah.
Just you spilled my drink.
That's fair.
You know, whatever.
Like he plays himself.
Just Danny Trejo as Danny Trejo.
Exactly.
It could be somebody just visiting the casino and just appears, have like random cameos throughout the movie.
Yeah.
You look
Or
like
just
say,
like
like,
Danny walk through and get shot in the face.
Danny Trejo, like, it blows my mind that as a kid I remember watching Spy Kids, and I was like, oh, okay, they have, like, just this really badass uncle, and then I grew up and I started seeing more of Danny Trejo's, like, brutal roles, and I'm like, what the fuck? They let this during the kids movie?
And then you find out that he made Machete a long time before Machete was a thing in Spy Kids.
Yeah, he's a pretty old dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Actually, one of my favorite roles was an old. It was a Quentin Tarantino film directed by Robert Rodriguez, which was From Dusk Till Dawn. He played the bartender. In that film.
Oh, isn't that the one that also has the what the hell's her name? The chick that dances with the python.
Selma Hayek.
Yeah.
Yes.
God, Satanica Pandemonium or something like that. That's what her stage name was in the.
Yeah, I love that
Fuck
scene.
if I remember that shit.
Probably.
She's the snake stripper.
Probably to date one of my favorite Cheech Marin roles. He plays 3 different roles. He plays like a border guard. He plays like part of the Mexican mafia, and he also plays this god-awful character who's like one of the little scummy vampires called Chet Pussy. Yeah. So,
Pussy.
and probably one of my favorite interactions is between him and Quentin Tarantino when they first meet outside of the club. Cheech Marin is giving his whole, I don't know what you call those guys that try to get you to come into the strip club. But he's basically giving his whole spiel outside, and Quentin Tarantino just cold cocks him right in the gut and then just starts kicking him, going, "Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. Having a good time? Fine," and then walks in over him.
Oh my god, yes.
They're ushers.
So
That's what they call them.
That's another movie we should approach. One of my favorite movies of his. It was definitely a flop. It did not do well in the theaters at all. So
I'm down.
Back to the premise. What are we doing here? They're going to take over the world.
Vino as the boss of the mafia.
Who's the
All right,
boss?
so Sylvester Stallone and
Paul
Mafia
Sorvino.
taking over the world.
Didn't Paul Sorvino pass away?
No.
No? Are you sure?
Still around looking all like this.
I'm gonna have to go look at it now. I haven't seen him in a long
I don't think
time.
he did, but let's check.
Because I was thinking Christopher Walken.
Hopefully he didn't, because we need him for this movie.
Oh, yes. Okay, I want a fucking Baby Metal and Christopher Walken to destroy fucking Poppy and Sylvester Stallone.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we need a... What do you call it? We need a booking agent. We need a guy that's running the show. The guy that's basically
booking
setting
agent?
up this whole... He knows everything that's going on. He's definitely deep into it.
Stanley Tucci.
Stanley
Oh my
Tucci.
God!
Oh my
Like a
god.
like a great agent.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, please. Please, please, please.
At least
I have
that.
never seen him do a bad role, honestly.
Yeah.
It was either that or I
He's a
had
great
like Jeremy Piven stuck in my head.
And Paul Sorvino's still alive.
I had Jeff
He was
Goldblum.
he was like the agent on Entourage.
Jeff Goldblum would also be good.
But
Jeff
Stanley
Goldblum.
Tucci, like, yes.
Yep.
Stanley Tucci's a great actor.
Yeah.
I could see
Yeah,
like
and I
maybe
feel like he's the perfect one to, like, know everything, like, know what's going on with everything, but just, like, let it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
I
would be a
think
character.
I'm leaning towards Stanley Tucci. He kind of has that. He can do the nice guy, but he can also do the douchey roles as well.
Yeah.
He does very well
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think of where we would go with this, though. So the Mafia obviously runs the casino. They're trying to stop them. Climactic battle, I feel, has to take place right in the middle of the stage area, like that whole the casino ballroom where the whole thing's taking place.
They have like a ballroom surrounded by tables. Like they have a venue, obviously, in the place, but it's like something like a dance floor with a little space right there, and it takes place right in front of the stage, but on the floor, which is wider, and everybody can rumble.
Right?
Okay, so, like,
So it's like one of those grander stages, like in a straight up, not a
Like a
stadium,
concert hall.
like a coliseum, kind of.
Yeah, basically.
I
Like a
was
really...
thinking the double stages like Scott Pilgrim did on the fucking Amp versus Amp.
Well, something like that.
Oh yeah.
That would work. Get
Yeah.
Battle of the
And
Bands
have
having...
some, like, fucking, I don't know, sound wave creatures come out and fucking fight each other like Scott Pilgrim.
Oh yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah. And then fucking, like, okay, so Poppy, like, defeats Baby Metal in the first round, and fucking, like, her like, final chord is this guy.
I can't even hear him.
Uh,
I couldn't even hear him. I
okay,
hear you.
anyway. Sorry, he's talking to his friends, and it just threw me off course.
Okay.
Anyway, fucking, yeah, okay, so her last chord, like, fucking hypnotizes everybody, and they all start fucking each other up, and, like, fucking Baby Metal and Stanley Tucci and fucking, Christopher Walken are just like, what the fuck is happening? What? Fucking...
No, I feel like Baby Metal should be involved. The people that are actually battling within the band, they're involved some way. So it's literally like these
Baby
people that
Metal.
are involved in the battle of the bands, even though they're fighting against each other, technically they are all working together.
Okay.
Can you hear this out here?
Makes it a little... I can't hear anything. You guys are hearing stuff I'm not hearing at all. There's a saxophone over here, we got a boyfriend talking there, and whatever noise is on your end, and I hear nothing.
Somebody outside, man. I guess they need to let the neighborhood know they're listening to some music.
Fair enough. But the reason I say that is because I feel like with this climactic battle, it's like this old school mafia group versus this group of like heavy metal artists. And the heavy metal artists are equipped with instruments that can also be used as weapons.
Okay.
Like somebody is literally playing on something that looks like both an axe and a guitar. You know what I mean?
The fucking sound waves blow people's heads up and shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got a real like science fiction kind of feel to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because when
Alright,
you
so
pull
we
science
want the
fiction, you
fucking
can do pretty
mafia.
much anything you want.
The old school mafia people, they're like, oh, we're fucking sick of this metal shit. We want to go back to the good old days with fucking, like, big band jazz and shit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like they want to bring back like the classical like good stuff.
It depends what, because the real heyday of the mafia, like when they were really big in power, was in the disco era.
You guys just gave me a double villain idea.
Yeah, that's when they were really big and powerful. It just the 30s and the Prohibition makes better movies, but when they were really, really, really powerful was in the disco era of the 70s.
So I feel like
they had everything. Oh, I'm sorry.
I feel like both the Mafia and Poppy, the heavy metal group, they're all bad guys. Basically, what you've got is you've got Poppy and the group over here trying to take over the world. The Mafia guys have invited these people into a Battle of the Bands thing, basically because they plan on taking them out, exactly for the reason you're talking about. So they're all bad guys. Everybody here is just they're all bad guys. There's no good guy at all.
Okay, since we're talking bands, how about we include some bands in the Battle of the Bands?
They did. We are including
okay.
bands in the Battle of the Bands. We need a couple extra now.
Spinal
Okay,
Tap.
Avatar needs to be one of them. Avatar is so good. It's a Swedish metal band.
Oh God, did you just say Spinal Tap?
Yeah, I have a cameo there. One of the competitors at Lose.
I want in this moment.
No.
Yes.
Drink.
Oh my God. Yes. Yes. Please.
Godly.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
The only
Absolutely.
reason why Spinal Tap would even be included in this whole thing is just to be a joke. Like a complete joke.
I thought we were doing it humoristically.
Well, some of it's humorous. But
So he repeated it too.
you fucked up my language, dude. What's wrong with you?
Pacifically speaking.
I've got enough trouble controlling my tongue as it is. You can't do that to me. So, I mean...
What was it that I had you fucked up about last time? What was it? Mirror?
Mirror.
You said mirror.
And I kept saying Myrrh. Yes, I actually listened to the podcast. I heard what I was saying, and I was definitely not... I need more sleep. I need more sleep. That's all I can say to that.
You're barely going out. Why aren't you sleeping?
I have had bouts of insomnia lately. I've been up till like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Average sleep lately, maybe 3 or 4 hours a night if I'm lucky. So, it's not great. I haven't been getting enough.
So here's what you're gonna do. That will kill your insomnia. Go to YouTube, find some workouts, like stuff you could do at home, like around 8 or whatever, that will get you sleepy by the time you know it's your usual bedtime.
Did you just suggest that I exercise? Alright.
Tomato. For the
A little bit
insomnia,
of
though.
yoga before bed, Chris.
For the
Right.
insomnia, though. That's it. Not that you need any.
Can you see my chubby ass doing yoga? I mean, seriously?
Yes.
No,
I
you.
can see
Listen.
anybody doing yoga, bro.
That is not a
Let me
picture
tell you
anybody's
this.
9 needs to be painting. I'm just saying.
You remember my size when we met, Chris, right?
Yes, I remember.
I was doing yoga then,
You remember my size when we met? It hasn't changed.
and I was quite hefty.
Anyway. So, climactic battle.
Yoga
Who
helped me
comes out
see
on
my
top?
toes after a few years.
The talking over each other thing needs to stop.
I know.
Okay. Who comes out on top? Who is the winner of this climactic battle?
The metal bands.
Nobody, they all die. Everybody's dead. The only person that walks out is Stanley Tucci.
No. The only person
No,
that walks
doesn't
out is
die,
Danny
though.
Trejo. Danny's the only one that walks out.
No. Hang on. Danny Trejo and Stanley Tucci just walk out. Like, not holding hands or frolicking or anything. No, they just walk out. They, like, look at each other like, damn. And then just fucking walk on.
Walk separate, yeah.
Yeah.
Go in separate directions.
Something,
Yeah,
like
something
head
very casual. something very casual. Can I bum a cigarette or something like that? Oh,
no.
Yeah.
And they just leave, walking in between the bodies and just leaving.
Yeah, because neither of them are the type to fuck with each other. Like, they both kind of, like, respect that, like, you just do your thing, I'll do mine. Well, that's it.
So basically, they just come out of wherever they are.
I feel
see
like it's
all the carnage that just happened. You got a cigarette?
It's just a misplaced,
exactly.
casual conversation at the very end.
Either that or whatever is left standing, because I'm assuming there's going to be, like, wreckage in, like, the venue at the casino and everything. Whatever's still standing, if there's, like, a section of bar that's, like, just barely not dilapidated, one of them sits down and the other one pours a couple shots.
Yes.
That's the only other ending I could accept.
Yes. I like that ending better.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just a 5-minute conversation.
Just, like, all the wreckage, you've got people that are mangled, and, like, of course, several of them are dressed like metalheads. So, like, people with, like, Doc Martens and, like, those big demonia boots that have, like, the metal plates on the front, and, like, chains, studs, leather, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Fucking.
I see it.
I'm feeling
I want the screen to go black just as they, like, do the little clink.
I've got a better idea.
Yeah.
Give me a minute. I don't mean to cut you off, because you guys are talking about this. We're talking about them leaving the building. I feel like the bands, the Mafia, they've basically taken themselves out. There's still a few people fighting in the background, like, weekly. And just Stanley Tucci and Danny Trejo just kind of walk through the crowd, avoiding them. You know, Trejo takes out one or two as they walk by to go to the bar. Tucci pours the drinks, and that's when the credits start rolling. But it rolls over the rest of the scene. So it's just this conversation between them as if nothing had even happened. They're just having this casual conversation as they take a drink, they exit the building, one guy gives the other a cigarette, and literally the credits finish as they part both ways.
Yes.
So the entire time the credits are rolling over them. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, and I was just gonna say, like, in the background, like, okay, so you still have people fighting, and then, like, maybe a couple band members of, like, other bands, the background or the cameo band survive, so then they're just, like, packing up their gear, like, man, this was fucking insane, we're not doing things like this again, or something. I think that would be fucking funny.
That would work.
Especially because, especially if we're doing heavy metal bands, like, heavy metal, like, costume bands, especially, like Avatar, like, they're not even in their costumes anymore. They've somehow taken the time away from the fight to go and change, and then just, like, load up their shit and leave. So they're in, like, pajamas or whatever.
Yes.
I got this idea because I've met the band members of Avatar before, and so, like, when I met Johannes Eckerstrom, he was out of costume, out of makeup, and he was wearing, like, pajama pants and, like, some sweater cardigan kind of a thing with a pea coat and Doc Martens, and one of those, like, thin, like, golfer hats or whatever. Like, outfit, he did not give a fuck. He was comfortable and he was ready to get on that bus and head home.
Yeah, I want like a big thing for that, like, last scene where they're, like, walking their shit out to their fucking bus in their pajamas and shit. I want them to be wearing, like, bright fluorescent fucking bunny slippers and just, like, bloody all over the place fucking, like, and that'll be, like, the icon, like, the front of the movie, fucking just the bloody slipper.
Exactly. Yep.
I like it. I actually like that.
Yep.
Now we just need to make this a movie.
Right?
This is a great fucking movie.
Hey, I've got the screenwriting
I
software.
want to actually see this. I would pay money to see this.
Like I've told these guys.
I'd pay $80 in concessions.
Yes.
Sorry, I'll shut up now.
Timberly, you see these two people sitting in front of you, right? These two, right? I'm pointing at them, but you can't see my fingers. I have the screenwriting software, and I have for a while. I keep trying to get them to sit down and write something with me. So, I am more than willing to try to
guys, come on.
this out.
One of these days.
We'll all split the money if we can get it sold.
Yes.
That's the point. But
one of these days.
So,
I think it would be so epic, though, honestly.
It would be dope if we could do that. Become a writing team.
Right? Well, I mean, we're already doing something that's very much akin to basically pitching films. Half of the podcast is about pitching movies.
Yeah, right.
So
watch somebody steal one of our ideas. We see it in a movie. All of a sudden, we're getting together to write.
Right. Hey, I know when I made these. If they steal my ideas, we'll go at them. Hey, you know the money you just made? You know where you got that idea from. Come here.
Yeah.
Coincidence, though.
Remember that podcast back in the middle of fucking 2020? Yeah.
That was ours.
We came up with the cursed year.
You know what? I'm not even going to make that. I'm going to tell Ben, that nice, bright fluorescent bunny slipper covered in blood. I'm going to make Ben draw that out for the cover for this podcast. I'm not even going to make it War Games. I'm just going to make
I like it.
the bunny slipper. All right, you know what? We went a good portion on that one idea. I think we're going to go ahead and run to break. And we actually have 2 sponsors now, so thank you to... well, I don't have the charitable one right in front of me right this second, but thank you to Anchor for continuing to sponsor our podcast. And we'll be right back with a quick discussion on War Games, which... as you well know, we rarely ever discuss the movie for very long. We just go off on our own tangent.
Games of War. But we should definitely discuss the movies more.
We definitely should. But it's always a loose conversation. We don't do structure, because the one time we tried to do a structured podcast was the most boring fucking thing we have ever done.
It was so lame.
It was very boring. What will be anarchy without a little looseness?
It is called Cinematic Anarchy for a reason, because it's fucking chaos.
Giggity.
Alright, thank you for sticking around past our sponsors, and we're going to go ahead and dive right into the second half of our podcast, discussing, or loosely discussing, the movie of the week. This week it is War Games, and I'm just going to step back for a minute and let you guys go for a sec before I say anything.
Okay, so Mathew Brodrick is this, like, little 17-year-old fucking dweeb, geeky kid that, like, he's you know, super witty and fucking technologically advanced in the computer areas, but it's also, like, 98, 96?
More like 1983.
Oh, yeah, right, 83, right, sorry, fucking, why am I saying 90s?
That computer technology would have been a little bit more advanced if it was the 90s.
Yeah, it would have been. I mean, just barely.
This is like all the equipment that he needed it just covered his room, like that entire wall, the wall next to him. It was just a ton of heavy equipment.
Yeah,
but hundreds of pounds worth of equipment.
He accidentally hacks into like this government system and thinks he's playing some kind of like video game, and accidentally like launches World War III. And the government's like, what the fuck is happening? And Russia's like, what the fuck is happening? We didn't do this!
He thinks that he's hacking into a video game company to see their list of games, like what's coming out, because they consider themselves like the next quantum leap in gaming. And instead he hacks into NORAD. Takes over a computer literally called the Whopper. I wonder if Burger King, like, paid them to do that.
Maybe.
Like, sort of like subliminal product placement without actually having a burger in the fucking film.
Yeah. That'd be funny. But anyway, so, like, they go through this whole thing and fucking, like, it turns out, like, it was just a simulation. And... you know, he has to try and convince the government that he doesn't actually work for the fucking Soviet Union. Which is super impossible, because he's just sitting there like, I was just trying to impress this girl. And they're just like, who do you fucking work for?
I don't work for anyone. I barely work for myself.
Right? And the government's like, oh, he's 17, he's, you know, he's distant from his parents, he's, like, he doesn't have very many friends, he's a whiz kid fucking on the computer and shit, and, like, he's a perfect candidate for a Soviet sleeper spy. And the entire time the kid's just like, fucking, what did I do? And this program called Joshua, shut up, Fredo.
Ooh.
Shut up, Fredo. Anyway.
Go ahead. I couldn't even hear. He was telling him to shut up. I couldn't even hear him.
No, he's correcting my vocabulary because apparently I say agent's weird.
No, you said sleeper spy.
Oh, sleeper spy. I said sleeper spy. He said sleeper agent. Well, sir, shut the fuck up. Anyway. Oh, God, you made me lose track of my fucking thought train thing. I can't do words now. Leave it.
Feel like me from earlier.
Someone take over for me.
Okay. Well, I can actually say that I screwed up at the beginning of the podcast. I mixed up two actresses completely.
Oh.
Two actresses that were both famous in the 80s and 90s. I said that the girl that led this film was Jennifer Jason Leigh. It's not. It's Ali Sheedy. So, definitely still part of the Brat Pack from the 80s. Just not the same girl at all.
She was younger then, right?
Oh yeah, that was one of her first films. That was like early stuff. That was before she even did The Breakfast Club. 2 years before. She was best known for...
Oh, was she the introverted chick in The Breakfast Club?
Yes.
Nice.
She was also well known for being the lead female role in the Short Circuit movies.
Yep.
I love those movies.
With Johnny Five.
I loved those when I was a kid. I haven't seen them in a long time.
Johnny Five was the man.
Hey, get out of there! Leave that alone. You nasty. You do not need to stick your nose in the goddamn ash bowl.
And that would be Lucy that we're talking about there.
Yeah.
None of us are actually doing that, so we can see what you're doing. Nobody over here listening to us can actually see a thing.
Yeah, for those listening, I have a puppy that is sticking her nose in places that she shouldn't be sticking her nose, and she knows damn well. Stop it.
That's what puppies do. They sniff things.
Yeah, you don't need to sniff ash.
You don't, no snorting ash. You don't need to do that. It's not good for you, puppy.
What? Go find a toy. Find a toy. Go find a toy. My foot is not a toy. Go.
Anyway. No, You got anything to say, Omar? You look a little zoned out there.
I'm actually rewatching the movie.
Well, but we're
mentally
actually
rewatching the movie.
You're rewatching the movie.
The movie now, Omar.
Yeah, I'm just listening to you guys, and I'm rewatching it too.
But, sir, you watched the movie so you could be part of the podcast, not so you could listen while you watch it again.
I don't know. I'm only enthralled by it.
Oh my God.
Damn, Chris, it looks like you're carrying it this time.
Not watch it. The listeners can't watch it with us.
Right?
They're watching it with me in spirit.
I really try not to do that anymore, because if I play the movie in the background, I'm, zoning out, and then people are carrying on a conversation, I start talking about what's going on the TV. Nobody can see that.
Happens to me all the time. You'd be surprised.
But, biggest misstep that they made in the movie is when they decided to take the human equation out of the actual launch sequence and make it all computerized. So
Nora, was it Nora? Norda?
NORAD. They basically ran a drill, and one guy could not turn the key.
The guy
Yeah, one of the guys refused to turn the key.
The guy. He looked super young, but I recognized him instantly.
Oh, God.
I didn't even remember he was there.
He's been a character actor in several dozen movies. So I could not name him off the top of my head, but he is definitely...
He wasn't Kill Bill. I keep forgetting his name.
Well, if you give me a minute, I will find him. But you're definitely going to have to give me a minute. Wait a minute.
No dead air.
Michael Madsen was in this movie?
Something.
I didn't even know that Michael Madsen was in this movie.
That's who I'm talking about.
I love that actor so much.
That's who I'm talking about. I wasn't recognizing him for a minute. Wait, this is... Oh, look who it is.
He was one of the guys, but the guy that would not turn the key The guy that basically screwed up the whole thing. It was a character actor by the name of John Spencer.
No, that one I recognize, but Michael Madsen, I'm looking at him, and I've seen the movie so many times, and, you know, he never clicked on any of his other movies, and then I see him like, oh, it's this dude.
He was like
I didn't remember his name, Michael Madsen.
Okay, I know who you guys are talking about now. Yep. Gotcha.
But he was like a kid in this movie. He was young.
Yeah.
He was super young, barely recognizable.
Like, not recognizable at all, really.
I was having a hard time remembering who he was, but then he looked so familiar, and I kept looking, and I remember when I watched it this week, I had to rewind that shit like 1,000 times.
Fair enough.
And I go, oh, it's the Kill Bill dude.
That's all you know. I know him from Reservoir Dogs. That's
From Reservoir Dogs too, but
one of my favorite films.
Kill Bill. Oh yeah, Reservoir Dogs is crazy. I love Reservoir Dogs. With Harvey Keitel and them.
We're gonna do a twofer.
I for some reason remember him the most from Kill Bill because of the way he got killed.
We're gonna give you a little preview. We're gonna do a twofer next weekend. It's a Quentin Tarantino twofer. If you guys can both.
Fuck yes!
Yeah.
True Romance and Reservoir Dogs. Two of his first films.
Oh yeah, I'm there for it.
I'm not
True
sure where
Romance.
you can find these movies. That it may be a rental situation, but
I could rent one of. I know one of them at least gonna be free. More than likely, Reservoir Dogs.
I think True Romance is probably more of a rental situation than anything else. But like, I keep mentioning this movie to people, but for some reason they're off-put by the title itself. Like True Romance, why the hell would I want to watch that? But you're talking about
yeah, because it sounds like a fucking 80s chick flick.
I'm going to give you a quick cast rundown for this. You're talking about a Quentin Tarantino written movie. It was not directed by him. Starring Patricia Arquette, Christian Slater, Val Kilmer, oh god, what's the guy's
Gary
name?
Oldman, Brad Pitt, Christopher Walken, Samuel L. Jackson. Jesus, this is a great cast.
The guy that played Tony Soprano's in it.
James Gandolfini?
Yeah, very early film. Very early movie for him. Bronson Pinchot is in it. Yeah, Val Kilmer. Very big. Dennis Hopper.
Michael Rappaport.
One of the Brad Pitt has a very small role in that movie. But it was one of the best interactions that I've ever seen in a Quentin Tarantino film was between Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper. And there's this whole interaction where he is basic just before. I'm actually not going to get into it. Have you guys anybody here seen the movie?
No. Wait, True Romance? No.
True Romance. Okay, then I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to ruin the scene for anybody.
It's pretty crazy.
All right.
Let me see.
But I've always loved Dennis Hopper, and I think that was like one of his better roles.
$3.99 rental on Amazon. Let's see, Voodoo.
I could do that.
And I think Reservoir Dogs is probably a free movie somewhere.
Right now it is. I think it is on Netflix.
So
Dead air.
I'm sure it won't be there for long.
I'm not trying to be dead air here. We're all talking. We're just not talking enough. No, I don't. They're both rentals. Amazon Prime $3.99. So.
Nice.
No,
I'm sure that's no Reservoir Dogs somewhere.
I gotta stop
so nice, but
zoning out here. Let's
do that.
Let's drive the truck right back into war games here because we veered off the course here.
The Vespa. Let's ride the Vespa.
Oh, you're driving a Vespa. I'm driving a truck. You're gonna get crushed.
Yeah.
Who's getting back on the road first?
Big Mac truck.
Right?
Vespa.
I'll Maximum Overdrive with the Goblin on the front. Is this another movie that nobody's seen here? Maximum Overdrive? Please tell me.
I don't know why it's so familiar. I don't remember seeing it.
Oh, early Stephen King film. Good stuff. So many movies that I'm just gonna pull out of my repertoire here. These are good films. All right. So tough to get back into the movie now that we've veered so far off course.
I know, right?
So far off course.
It's your fault, Chris.
So anyway,
I do that.
We end the movie.
I'm just messing with you, man.
Anyway, we end the movie with fucking Mathew Brodrick and all these people and fucking the creator of what's it fucking called again?
Nora?
The program for the movie. Joshua
is the program. Yes.
We're talking about the movie, Chris.
Yes.
You just said get back to the movie.
I know.
I enjoyed the movie.
My brain isn't quite there.
It was genius because at the time it came out was like at the height of the Cold War in the 80s. And basically it was like a little towards the end of the Cold War, I will say, and more at the beginning of the video game craze. That everybody was setting up computers, whatever they could to play. And the Atari, that was the days of Atari and those. So I think it was a genius idea to make that movie.
And this is one of the first movies that Broderick got to actually showcase his skills in. This was before Project X, before he got into Ferris Bueller's Day Off. This was like one of his first movies.
Before Godzilla.
Oh, God.
Way before that.
Do not talk about his version of fucking Godzilla. It's a horrible film. Horrible film.
That was lousy.
Not a very good soundtrack either, really, but horrible film.
Yeah.
That Jimmy Page,
I do hope
P. Diddy fucking song that they did is just gonna haunt my nightmares.
I really hope making that movie saved somebody's house because it was a bad movie.
I think
I hope that did something really necessary for somebody that worked in it because that's the only way I would think of it worth it.
Didn't it make like a shitload at the box office, and then it was also a critical flop at the same time? Like so many people went to see it because it was well marketed, but they all went to see the film.
Went to see it, and then they all hated it.
Right, but they all hated it and went to see it more than one time, obviously, because it made a shitload of money.
Well, yeah, it's fucking. I don't know, the way I see it, fucking the first impression isn't always the greatest. I'll go see it again. Yeah. You know, if I still don't like it, then fuck it, but then, you know, they already made twice as much money as if I didn't go.
I'm going to pose a
If I don't like it at the movies, the second time I watch it, it's not going to be at the movies.
Yeah.
I'm going to pose a quick
I'll
question
pirate that shit the second time around.
To the group here. I'm going to veer off course for just one more second. What movie dragged you to the theater the most times? And we created dead silence.
The only movie I can think of that I saw twice in theater recently was Endgame, but it wasn't because I didn't like Endgame. I actually liked Endgame a lot. What happened was, my mom and I have followed most of the Marvel movies in, like, story order.
Okay.
And so we wanted to see Captain Marvel before we saw Endgame, but we were like, fuck it, we just want to go ahead and go see Endgame because we don't want spoilers. So we went and saw Endgame. Got pissed off because my mom and I, like, we are diehard fans, so we're reacting to the movie, and we're not being that disruptive. Like, she and I were whispering to each other quietly, and this chick on the other side of me was like, can you stop? I'll go report you. It's like, you bitch! And she was quiet the whole movie, so I'm like, clearly you are not a Marvel fan. I don't know if you're here on a date or what, but he needs to dump your ass because you do not show the respectable amount of enthusiasm for this movie. Whatever. I was salty about that. So anyways, we get through that, saw it, thought it was great. Then we wanted to go and see Captain Marvel, so we watched Captain Marvel, and then we watched Endgame again at theater, and it was good. It was really good. I love it.
So, can I be honest about Endgame? I really think that they could have drawn out the climactic battle scene a little more.
I felt that too.
I think they
I
fought
wanted
in a little
more.
with the special effects. There was some things that kind of felt a little out of place, and I think they could have just put a little bit more work in it, maybe even like 10 minutes extra to that final scene.
Yeah.
And made it just spot on.
Yeah.
Oh god, I loved it though when Scarlet Witch got her moment. That whole thing, it's like, you took everything. And he's like, I don't even know who you are. You will. That you will. Just, it was so good. I loved it. It was delivered perfectly. So good.
Had to wait a while for it,
The
though.
movie that...
I don't remember ever going to see a movie twice in theaters.
I have a few.
You have a few? Have you seen any more than twice in the theaters?
Beat Street. It was a movie about hip-hop from the 80s. I was 10 years old, and the month it came out, I went to the movies every weekend to see it.
Y'all are going to be disappointed in my answer.
Huh?
I had a lot of female friends in high school, and it was maybe just out of high school, actually. No, maybe still in high school. I gotta maybe check the date. Titanic. I ended up getting dragged to the theater 5 fucking times to see that movie.
It's okay.
Oh my god! 5 times?
5 times.
5 times?
That's overkill.
And that is
Oh.
okay. I don't see nothing wrong with it. I mean, you went with your friends, just like...
By my
I'm
girlfriend
sure
at the
there's
time,
different reasons
and
why I
then
went to watch my movie 4 times.
4 separate female friends who are also... I don't even know. Just... By the time I got through, like, the 3rd showing, I think, like, the 4th and the 5th time, I might have, like, fallen asleep halfway through. And, like, I pissed off my friend Paula. She's like, I paid for your ticket to get in here. It's like, that's because I was not paying to get into this for the 4th fucking time.
Right?
These weren't females you were interested in at any point.
No, I had a girlfriend at the time, and then 4 fairly... Well, more than 4 fairly solid female friends. Just... No, none of them were prospective dating interests at all.
I have a very good female friend, which we're still best friends, who told me she wanted me to go with her to watch that movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's certain people that, like, that you know that they're gonna react funny or they're gonna react interestingly to something or other. Like, I have friends like that I'm like, okay, this is the person that's going to watch this with me or, like, gonna enjoy this with me or whatever.
I had trouble saying no at the time. Like, I should have, because once was enough watching this movie. It really was. Twice was all right.
It's like, what, 2.5 hours long? 3 hours long?
It was just shy of 3 hours.
That's a lot of commitment.
This is like a Lord of the Rings epic type of movie here, but Titanic.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, it's not a bad movie. But for me to get
it's not bad.
You ever to watch it? No.
It's not bad, but 5 times in theaters is too much.
Yeah. I didn't pay for the last 2
Titanic
times.
once, and I'm good for like another 3 years or so. Like, I don't need to watch it again that quick.
At that point, wait for the VHS and fucking watch it at home.
I paid for it in full.
The 2-part VHS.
Right?
Yeah.
I paid for it in full the first 2 times. The second time we split the difference. The last 2 times I'm like, you want me to go? You're paying because I'm not paying for this. I've already seen it 3 times.
So one of my favorite cousins has a story about Titanic with his then girlfriend, who is now still his wife. So I guess she was bugging him about taking her to see that movie because she saw the trailer and it looked super romantic or whatever. So he decides, as a nice gesture, he did this on purpose because the movie had all this crazy hype. He took her on the day it came out, the very day. He saw that people, that was his out, and that was his excuse. They ended up watching some action.
By the middle of the 4th movie, I realized that Rose was an asshole.
Really?
Rose has always been an asshole. There was enough room for like 4 people on that fucking door.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get caught up in the
balance.
You get caught up in the romanticism of the movie, and then you don't realize she just fucking let him die for no reason.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
They could have had a whole life together, but no.
I mean, at the time, I wouldn't. I would have kicked Leo off the door too, but I was not a big fan of Leo until Blood Diamond. I was all right with him in Catch Me If You Can. And I think one other film that I was a really big fan of his, he was in What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Did you know people actually thought that he was, like, mentally, that he was actually slow until, like, he was part of a normal conversation or whatever, but, like, people actually thought that he was mentally, like, different.
Really, like, yeah, I've heard that before, too.
Anybody that watched Family Ties would have known him.
I became a fan with one of his first movies. I don't know if any of you have seen the Basketball Diaries.
Oh, okay, yep.
Basketball Diaries.
I've seen that.
That movie, I loved it. It was deep.
I think there was like a rash of like
went a little bit.
Like really decent basketball-based movies back then. You had like Blue Chip. You had the Basketball Diaries. White Men Can't Jump came out. There was a lot of really good basketball-based movies back in that area. That was what, early 90s?
Yeah.
There's probably more. You know,
Love and Basketball.
Was that
Love and Basketball was like a love movie, you know.
What was the name? Movie. The lead actor in that movie, Love and Basketball.
Omar Epps.
Was that Omar Epps?
Was it? Was it Omar Epps?
No,
Love and Basketball. No. I know it was Sanaa Lathan because that's my longtime celebrity crush. But let me see who is the dude. I think it was Omar Epps.
I don't think that was Omar Epps.
Yeah,
I can picture the cover of the actual film itself. I don't think it was Omar. It was Omar Epps. Fuck me. Really?
It was.
Why did I think that was somebody else? Like I was like I can picture the cover.
Another actor that did a very good movie with her, but it was a movie about hip hop called Brown Sugar, and it was Tay Diggs and Sanaa Lathan did this movie. It was a great movie though.
Okay. How about? Yeah, I was picturing it and I thought it was somebody else. I don't know why. I'll have to find the name of the actor that I thought it was because off the top of my head, didn't even come up with that.
Yeah, it was Omar Epps.
Omar Epps was pretty young too. Alright, so we went way off track again. I took us on like another 10-minute tangent about something other than the actual movie.
I think we're pretty much done with the movie.
Are we? We didn't really talk about the movie. Like, at all.
I tried, and then fucking I lost track of my thought because of Fredo fucking interrupting me.
25 minutes for the second half of the podcast, and I think we may have talked about it for 3. Maybe. Maybe. And this is a fantastic movie, too.
I fucked up. I didn't see it first.
I tried, man.
Lucille, you're gonna knock it over.
I was a participant.
You tried. You tried.
I did the thing.
I tried to distract us continuously.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
And succeeded.
And Omar started watching the movie while we were trying to talk about it.
This is just awful.
I was quietly watching it, though.
Well, this is what we do. We intend to talk about the movie, but sometimes our better demons get us.
So, guys, now that we're talking about the movie again, who would you like in this movie today?
If they were to do this movie today,
it would be pretty crazy. There's room for so much.
I'm trying to think.
Okay, so having not seen the movie yet, what is Mathew Brodrick's character's temperament like? Like,
so
does he find out that he's actually starting a war, and then from there is he like, wow, this is cool, or like, oh shit, what the hell did I do?
Oh no, he basically goes into almost deep state of depression. He's trying to figure out how to do it, and then at one point he just kind of resigns. Like, I wish I was one of the people that didn't know this was going on. So when this happens tomorrow and we get blown off the face of the planet, I would be oblivious. It would be all over, and I wouldn't know. That's kind of, he went off that deep end, kind of depressive.
I almost feel like Tom Holland could do that role really well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know where my brain went? Jesse Eisenberg.
Of course it went.
Yes.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, yes. I like him.
I mean, he played fucking Mark Zuckerberg. Was it Mark Zuckerberg?
Yep. Mark
Was that
Zuckerberg.
Jesse Eisenberg?
Yes.
Oh, no.
that
Yeah.
Wait, yeah?
Hang on.
Trust me,
I
watch,
all those little fucking nerdy guys.
no.
computers.
You know who I want?
Look up Game Grumps Mark Zuckerberg bit, and it's so fucking funny because Aaron goes on a whole rant about trying to figure out who the fuck it was that played who actually invented Facebook, because all he could think of was Jesse Eisenberg.
I want
It's so funny. Yeah.
Forget Jesse Eisenberg. I got a different guy. Ansel Elgort. He's the lead actor from Baby Driver.
Oh, okay, yes.
Have you seen Baby Driver?
I haven't seen Baby Driver. The name sounds familiar. I'm just trying to picture the face.
He was in Fault in Our
It's the guy from the
Stars.
Fault in Our Stars.
Oh, that one. Oh, okay. Yeah, he could do it. He could
was-
do it.
Yeah.
He was in all of the Divergent films.
Yes.
It's easier to just the kid from Fault in Our Stars.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think
that
that
makes sense. And that was an interesting time. That was an interesting time to see him play her brother through all those movies and then see them as lovers. I'm like, what are y'all doing here?
Well,
I've seen that movie twice, and I will never see it again because it made me bawl my eyes out both times.
they had chemistry. That's why I think they were in so many movies together. So,
Yeah. Hi.
even though I didn't really like the Divergent films, after the first one, I was kind of done with it.
I liked the first one, and then in the second one, when they started changing too much shit away from the books, and then especially the third one, I was like,
We're good.
fucked
We're
it up.
good.
Oh, okay. So
The books were great, but the movies, I'm so pissed that they didn't break up the third one into two parts like they did with Twilight. Like, they would have done so much better if they had just made the third part 2 parts and actually followed the fucking book.
All right.
I want
I agree.
the fucking. I want to see John Bernthal as the general.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Oh my god, I fucking love him as Punisher. On my heart.
Who do you want for the romantic lead? The girl that he's trying to impress. I mean, do you just want to pull his friend right out of the woodwork there? That he seems to work with. So what's her
Shailene Woodley?
name? What? Is that what her name is? Shailene
Yeah, that
Woodley?
makes sense.
I mean, they work together plenty,
Yeah.
and she kind of looks like the lead actress from this film, like similar features.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it.
All right. I want John Hamm as the guy that's basically... I don't like the name... I don't like Whopper as the name of this fucking thing. It bothers me.
Yeah.
But I want him to be the guy that basically created Joshua.
Okay.
I would cast him. I like John Hamm quite a bit. And Ansel and him have worked pretty well together before when they were in Baby Driver together. So I think that would work.
Yeah. I want fucking Jeff Goldblum to voice Joshua.
Jeff...
Yes.
Oh, God.
The program.
I'm just picturing, I don't know if you guys know who Max Headroom is.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I know Max Headroom.
Me and Omar are products of the 80s. We know Max Headroom. Max Headroom was this
Max
computer...
Headroom was some crazy...
Basically a computer-generated spokesman of the 80s.
It's on YouTube everywhere. Look him up, but you don't want to watch sober.
He was basically played by an actor called Mathew, and he was all over the 80s. Max Headroom, basically, I'm picturing like a Max Headroom version of Jeff Goldblum.
The computer.
Oh my
Just
God.
this disembodied computerized head.
Go take out Max Headroom.
very-
Max Headroom is something crazy.
Creepy looking head guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very.
He basically looks like a mannequin that talks.
His forehead makes me uncomfortable.
That's actually Matt Fewer's forehead. I mean, the
That
entire
makes me
thing.
uncomfortable.
The entire thing looks like him. So
super creepy. And then he glitches out sometimes. You remember?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, because computer programming back there was fairly imperfect, so those glitches happened frequently. That was very accurate to computers from the 80s.
I do wish Mass Headroom would have come out when I was a little older, that I could have partake while watching, because I was pretty young when it came out.
Right? Yeah. He had his own TV show for a while too. There was like a Max Headroom, like, was it a sitcom?
Was it HBO or MTV?
MTV, I believe. Because Max Headroom was also a spokesman for MTV. I think he was a spokesman for Pepsi at one point.
He got to present awards and stuff for MTV and everything.
Oh yeah, that was back when Mathew was making hand over fist.
Yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts on the movie before we just check out of the podcast altogether?
I have mentally checked out.
Spooky, you have no final thoughts because you didn't see the movie.
Sorry.
Oh, that was fun. I have like a shelving unit that just collapsed off of my wall.
I dropped my phone.
At the same time that I dropped the thing off my wall?
Yeah!
It's your fault. Butterfly effect.
Coincidence?
Sorry.
No, I
think not!
I think what the problem was is that my son decided to take the wire from his computer, which has that heavy brick, the adapter part, and it was too much weight and it just tore the whole thing off the wall. Oh well. So no final thoughts on I don't even have any final thoughts. I absolutely love this movie. It's an iconic 80s film.
Movie. Watch it. That's my final thought.
It's definitely a dated movie because it's a product of the 80s. It's a product of the Cold War. We were nearing the end of the Cold War at the time. And
yeah, but also at the time nobody else was doing movies about like hacking into government systems from your home computer.
No, and
this movie was definitely ahead of its time.
It was very entertaining to see how he was doing it too.
Yeah, I would love to see a remake of that. Like, I want to watch the original one, but just the whole concept of it, I think that it would be a fascinating movie in current day, because I feel like it's a lot more possible. Especially with, like, the dark web and, like, the other shit that you can find on the internet, or, like, just through computer shit.
The way he did it, too, kids nowadays probably wouldn't have the patience to do it how he did it, because it was like a fishing trip. He just threw the program out, dialing random numbers, and he just there's something right.
I swear to God, if we never like moved into Facebook and like just stuck with fucking MySpace, we would have all been fucking computer programmers. Are you kidding me? We were fucking programming already to make our pages look fucking sparkly and shit, and have like music playing from the background and nobody could turn it off.
And now that we're speaking of hacking, and we just talked about Max Headroom, so I was basically looking what year Max Headroom started right now on my phone, and there was an incident with something 7. And one day they hacked TV signals with an image of Max Headroom.
Oh, really?
So they interrupted like regular broadcasts and just put that there.
I did not know that.
I did not know that either. I just learned that now. I'll send it to you, Chris.
Didn't Max Headroom even make a cameo in what was like the second Back to the Future movie?
I think so. I don't remember.
I think so. It was like or something that was Max Headroom-esque. I'm going to have to look into that. All right. So.
Max Headroom was one thing of the 80s that made drugs make sense.
Max Headroom was on coke, even though he was a spokesman for Pepsi.
I'm sure whoever invented Max Headroom was on coke.
Yeah. I think he even got his TV show around the same time that like Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th had their own TV shows. I forgot that they both had their own TV shows for a while.
Yeah.
You know, that you could actually make a TV show for both of them at this point, and it would be spot on. All right, so I think with that, I'm going to go ahead and tie up the remainder of our podcast, seeing as we were rambling way off track, and people are texting back and forth trying to tell me that phones are dying. I'm going to out you. I'm going to out you.
Chris, isn't there a way for you to shut off the messenger sound on your fucking computer?
I shut it off on my phone. I haven't shut it off on the computer for some reason. I don't know why I have to do it on separate devices. It doesn't make sense. And see, there's more right there.
You gotta do it on every device, man.
Every device. Well, maybe next time.
Oh my god.
I'll
remind you before we fucking start next time.
You guys can individually sign off,
Chris, so you can read about it. This is crazy.
Okay. I'll read it in a few moments when I'm not trying to finish the podcast, Omar. You know?
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
My bad.
It's okay. I'm just trying to sign off here. We can wait a few minutes. Miss B's phone will die before I even get to it.
Yep.
So, on behalf of myself, Spooky, Omar, and Miss B, thank you for listening to the podcast, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Maybe. I gotta find a better way to sign off of this fucking podcast.
Oh, will we?
I've got to. It's too... we're going into it too... like, I liked how we began the podcast today, but, like, I keep signing off in the most ridiculous fucking ways. And it always ends up that I do the mundane one, and then we just ramble for 20 minutes afterwards. So.
Yeah, right.
We do.